We got a 911 call regarding a medical emergency. A gentleman had cut his arm. So I'd assumed that since we already got a 911 call about someone cutting their arm, that it was going to be pretty bad. I mean, generally people that sustain a small cut don't call 911. I had another officer that was already on scene prior. He was in the area first. So he responded and he got there. And as I was walking up on scene, I grabbed my medical bag like I always do. And inside that I have a tourniquet, some small hemorrhage control, stuff like that. And when I was walking up, a fellow officer told me that I was going to need a tourniquet, and he had held the gentleman's arm near a pressure point, and he was holding a pressure onto the bandage that they were using a towel. So I got up there and we applied the tourniquet. We were able to control the hemorrhaging the best as we can and keep him sort of calm and collected so he didn't freak out or go into shock or anything like that. So we tried to comfort him as much as we could. You'll get a call regarding a certain circumstance, and sometimes it's not exactly what they portray it to be. It could either be as minor as a simple scrape on the leg or something as extensive as this. Our department just did some training classes regarding first responders on scenes for very traumatic injuries regarding either fellow officers or bystanders and shootings and things like that. We covered hemorrhage control, triaging patients, keeping people out of shock, and kind of tending to them as need be, mass casualty drills and stuff like that. So thankfully this was still fresh in our mind. Yeah. You get a call for something regarding like a domestic situation or erratic drivers on the highway. I mean, we get a plethora of things. But you never know, again, like what you alluded to earlier, that it's not exactly how everyone portrays it to be. Especially for a caller, it could be something extremely traumatic for them, but for the individuals that are involved in it, it could be as basic as changing a tire, a disabled vehicle on the highway. So every situation is different. For medical situations, this is probably in the top 2 or 3. You'll get people that were involved in car accidents where, it's a near-death situation and you have to do CPR on them. So it's all varies, but this is just a general workplace injury that thankfully all the stars aligned and that we were able to be there in such a short period of time to keep them alive. It is definitely rewarding. I don't do the job for a reward, but it is a nice thing to know that that gentleman is going to be able to go home and see his wife and kids, and just like I have a fiance and kids, I would wish that someone would be able to perform the first line medical care that's needed if I was in that situation as well.